the beautiful makeup lovers, thanks for stopping by today and a very warm welcome to this video with the Natasha Denona Sunrise Palette. This is the palette of the day, as you probably could tell from the title. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have a little info part on this little beauty where we're gonna just, have an overview on it, the prices, and where we're also gonna see the swatches. Then we're gonna have a part of this video where we're gonna create this look together, and then we're gonna have a thought section at the end where I'm going to share my first thoughts on this palette. I'm gonna leave, as always in this kind of videos, timestamps down below so you can find your way to the part of the video that interests you the most a little faster. And this is all I wanted to say as an intro, so let's get started. Okay, so this is the Natasha Denona Sunrise Palette. Welcome to the info part. It looks like this, like it's one of her plastic packaging, the same as the Safari and the Tropical palette, or however it's called, I believe. And you also have this little holes here in the end to pop out the shades in case you want to do that. And it comes in this little cardboard packaging that all the Natasha Denona palettes come in, where you also have the ingredients and all the things on the different shades, the shade names as well, and it tells you that it's made in Italy, that it's paraben free and not tested on animals. Yeah, all this information you have only on the little thing it comes in, so if you want to keep that for future reference, you would have to keep the cartoon. And here is, it didn't fall down. Here is the palette itself. This is how it looks like. When we open it up, you see this is the palette. I'm sure you have seen it by now. As you can see, you have a really decent side mirror in here. You can totally use that to do an eye look. I used it to do this eye look, as well as all the other eye looks that I did with this palette. So it's definitely a big enough mirror to do a full face of makeup. And then you have the 15 shades in here, which you can pop out, as I already mentioned. And yeah, you can see in here that you have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes in here, which are, a mix of medium and colorful. And then you have more like kind of highlighter shades, which are these two. Then you have like true metallic shade, true shimmer shades, which are Dayspring, Phlox, and Poppy. And then you have the kind of like more iridescent topper shades, which are Aster, Azalea, and Awakening. So you have around 4 different formulas in this palette, which I think is really nice. So this is how it looks like in the pan. It's definitely a warm palette, as you can see. I would say that maybe Aster and maybe also the color Laurel, and maybe also the color Agate, I don't know, maybe depends on the day, also a little cool tone, so it's not entirely warm palette, but the main theme on it is warm toned. So let's get now into the swatches so you can see those shades also swatched out instead of just looking at them in the palette. From left to right, you see here the first 10 shades swatched out from the palette, and we start on the left with the color Poppy, which is a warm burgundy with a metallic finish. Then you see Citrine, which is a sunflower yellow, that is a matte. Then you see Phlox, which is kind of a royal red with a metallic finish. Then you see Awakening, which is a lavender nude duochrome. Then you see Laurel, which is a peachy champagne metallic. Then you see Aster, which is kind of a violet mauvey duochrome. Then you see Glory, which is kind of a hot pink matte. Then you see Azalea, which is a pink copper duochrome. Then you see Morgan, which is a pastel coral matte. And then you see Agate, which is a champagne apricot with a metallic finish. Here you see the last 5 shades from the palette swatched out. On the left we start with the color Clove, which is a dark brown with a kind of like a little bit of a red tendency and has a matte finish. Then you see Carnelian, which is a very bright creamy orange matte. Then you see Jasper, which is a bright terracotta kind of matte. Then you see Morning, which is a light apricot matte. And then you see Dayspring, which is just a bronze metallic. Okay, after seeing all the swatches now, let's speak a little bit of price on this thing. On Beautylish, this retails for $65 US. I got mine off Feel Unique though, and there it retails in euros for 72 euros because, you know, it already includes the taxes. So yeah, I think this is a more affordable palette. I mean, it is a more affordable palette from Natasha Denona, which is mainly due to the size difference to her older palettes. I have as a comparison here the Lila palette. So you can see it is a little bit smaller. Okay, a little bit smaller, not too much in the end, honestly. From the size, actually, it's pretty as much the same size as the small Pat McGrath palettes from the size itself. It's just much slimmer. Also, of course, the amount of shadow you get here in her usual bigger palette, in her usual 15 pan palette, you get, what was it, 2.5 grams or 0.08 ounces per eyeshadow, where in this one it's roughly a little bit more than 1 gram. I don't know how much is this in ounces, but I'm sure you're clever enough to look it up. So you get a little bit less product, which personally doesn't bother me. I prefer the deal to get a little bit less product and therefore pay a little less price. For me, this is perfect. So if she would do all her palettes, like 15 pan palettes from now on in this size with this price, I'd be more than happy than pay the 129 US on it. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about the info for this little beauty. Let's get now into this look, and then we're gonna see each other again for my thoughts on this palette. I'm starting off the look with the color Citrine on a big fluffy blending brush, and I'm putting it all in my crease to make sure to cover it up really nicely and blend it out smoothly. Then I'm going in with the color Carnelian on a smaller fluffy blending brush, and I'm trying to create a really nice gradient between this orange and the yellow that I already put down. Then I'm going to the color Clove, and I'm using this on an even smaller blending brush to deepen out the outer V and to make more of a gradient from dark to light. Then I'm going in with the color Phlox on a dampened shader brush, and I'm putting it all over my lid. Then I'm going back with the color Clove, and I'm cleaning up a little bit the edge between the color Phlox and the crease to have it deepen out nice and to have everything really smooth. Then I'm going in with the color Awakening on my finger, and I'm putting it in the first part of my inner lid. Then I'm going back with the color Citrine, and on the small fluffy brush I'm putting it all over my lower lash line. Then I'm going back with the color Carnelian, and on the same brush I'm putting this on my lower lash line, trying to connect the upper eye with the lower eye, and I'm keeping this in the outer part of my lower lash line. Then I'm going in with the color Clove, and I'm using this in the really outer part of my lower lash line, also connecting the upper eye with the lower lash line well. Then I'm going in with the color Agate, and I'm using this one as an inner corner highlight on both sides naturally, and I'm also later on putting it as a brow bone highlight. Then we have here the finished look. I added some liquid liner, of course some mascara, and a yellow crayon in my waterline, and that's what we got with this look. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so you can see a little bit better what's going on. I hope you can see how nice the color Awakening is topping up the color Flux on my lid. I found this effect really beautiful and hope the camera does it any justice on how beautiful it really was. Okay, then let's get into the thoughts on this little palette. Let's bring it up a little bit so I don't blind you too much. Does it work? So just to inform you, I use this palette, including this look, 3 times now, so it's not going to be a very in-depth review of it. I did use almost all of the shades in here, but I didn't get to use yet Day, Spring and Morning, because those are also the colors in this palette that I'm like, you know, I wouldn't mind if they are not there, or, you know, I'm like indifferent about them. So that's what we are at here, just to let you know where my flocks are coming from, from how much use they are coming from. Okay, let's stop rambling and talk about the palette. So I've used, as I said, all the shades except of 2. In general, I really like the color story. I'm a big fan of this kind of pink yellow combo. That's something I really like. And I mean, I could, yes, this neutral corner over here, I could live without it, even though I used the color Morgan in one of the looks together that I did with the color Glory, and that looked really beautiful together. Like this one, how it blended into this one, they really brought out the best out of each other. Do you say it like that? And I really like that. Also, I find it very nice how the two, the orange and the yellow, do stand out against each other. Like I did use them both in my crease today, and I feel like you can see like a gradient there. It's not like that they just mud together to one color on your eye, which was a thing that I was a little bit afraid of. And also these 2 deeper shades here that you can use to deepen up your crease, and the outer V, I find them pretty nicely chosen for this palette. They go along actually with all the other matte colors, which is very nice. And I don't think, like, I'm really happy it's not just a dark brown. So I think they did a good job on the 2 darker colors. The shimmers I've used so far, the color, these 2 here, which is Agate and Laurel, as well as Phlox and Poppy. They're really beautiful. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the look, but how the color Phlox in this look came on the lid is just such a beautiful royal red. It's super beautiful, and it goes on so smoothly, so nicely. I do spritz my brush when I use those shades, but that's more out of habit rather than that you really need to do it. Like with the inner corner highlighter there, for instance, I didn't do it, and I don't think it needed any of spritz, but I do it because I'm used to it, you know. So what can you do against old habits, you know? The topper shades, I used actually all of them. In all the 3 looks that I did, I used a different one. In the first look that I did, I used Aster on top of Glory. That was super beautiful, absolutely stunning, the combo. It's that kind of this purple with blue sparkles in it without being like over the top. Very beautiful. This one is more like a rosé gold peachy thing going on with a little bit of glitter, pink glitter. I used this one on top over the color Citrine. Yes, Citrine. That was really beautiful. I really loved that. And today I used the color Awakening on top of the color Phlox. Absolutely stunning as well, I think. And yes, so I'm really happy with all I did so far. The looks come together like I know it from Natasha Denona, super effortless. Like you don't even really need to have a lot of skill, I feel, with her eyeshadow formula. You can, everybody I feel can boost the looks together, and I think this palette is a really good option if you always wanted to try Natasha Denona, but the $129 price tag turned you off. I feel $65 are still a steep price, but I mean, if you compare it to, for instance, ABH, like, I mean, ABH has less colors. I mean, it's one less, but still, I mean, had way less product in the pan as well. So and it costs like, I mean, is it like 45, 50 US dollars? I don't know how much it is in US dollars. This definitely is a much better formula. I think it works much better than ABH. I do like ABH, but they cannot compare to Natasha Denona in my opinion. And therefore I think it's a really good deal actually. I really do think so. And I love this color story. I would recommend this palette from my standing point at the moment, using it for 3 times. If my opinion changes on this, I am going to make sure to update you on that. Like, I cannot speak today, like what's wrong with me. It was a very long night last night. And yeah, I really enjoy this. I think she did something really nice in here. I don't find it in any means similar to the Sunset palette. I find it is definitely like more this kind of like berry tones. I really love this. I'm happy I picked it up. I think it's a very beautiful color story. I don't know if it's necessarily unique to my collection, to be honest, but with the dual chrome topper shades and everything, it definitely has a unique touch. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more with this and to have that in my, array of palettes I can choose from in the summer. And I guess that's all I wanted to say. I'm not gonna blob around more now. I'm always eating the plants. Did you pick this one up? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you have anything else on Natasha Denona, or if you're like, I don't really care for the brand, and what do you think about the new sizing and pricing? I personally think it was a really smart thing from her to do, but I also heard people with different opinions on that, so let me know about that. Also, please give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of video, and if you would consider subscribing to my channel, that would be amazing as well, so we can see each other here in the next videos. Bye bye!